Right. So, in the last session, we have discussed about the oath point, right? So, oath the creations that generally we have done. Am I right? That's something we did. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Yes or no? Right?
yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now, we are going to discuss about how the end-to-end type testing we do using Postman, because when there is an integration that we have made, because integration when we have to select multiple options, because integration for get methods are different, or else if you want to post any new updates, or if you want to patch any new updates in this, or if you want to delete, we need to select. So that we have selected a get method, especially on when there is any kind of new API key that we are generating. So when we have created this new API, first of all, we need to identify to generate a new key API, especially when we are performing end-to-end testing, wherein this is something even required even for creation of new accounts also. For example, if you want to create any kind of new account, or if you want to create any new kind of API, okay, so different APIs can be created, and even we can create the values. What are the different values that we have? Everything that we can do. So this is generally we do, because in the last session, if you remember, authorizations, etc., we have created already. Now we are talking about the testing part. So whenever we have done the testing, whenever we have initiated a testing part, here you can see. So we have selected a get method where we have authorized and we have initiated a new API key. This is a functionality I have taken. There are a couple of functionalities even to create a new account, or get all user accounts different. But for the first one I have taken, when we are creating a new account or new API key, normally whenever we are creating, this is something which normally you can see. Okay, this is, you can see in the down screen here, right? So this is a JSON file. Whatever the file name that you can see over here, this is about the JSON file name, because there are two different files.
Ash, I can't see the screen, whatever JSON, right?
Here,
JSON
here
screen.
you can see, here. 1 minute. Let me just. Can you see this?
Only word I can, but the screen and that something down, I can't.
This one I'm showing you. I'm
Yeah, only JSON only I can able to see. The remaining down part I can't.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you can
That,
drag the screen. Yeah,
I'm
now I
doing
can.
it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
So this is about the JSON files, because whenever we have created this get method, whenever we have initiated this get method, when we are creating any kind of API keys, etc., right? So whenever we are sending the request, so this is a get method normally we do, wherein we need to identify different files, because it depends on what kind of file format we are using, because either it can be a JSON file format or Excel file format we need to do for creation of new API. Do remember, again I'm repeating, this is a functionality for testing for a get functionality that we are creating for generating a new API key. Okay, for this part I'm explaining today now. Okay, so whenever we have created, you need to identify which file format our files are belongs to. If it was an XML file format, then that is different, or else we can create any JSON, because when we are using these file formats, either generally two, one is XML or JSON we are using. HTML we are using for a very long time. It's a long this thing. Or else we can use even JavaScript also. Okay, these are the three things. But when you go for an interview, if someone is asking you about what file formats you guys have used, because this is for integration purpose, I mean to say, so that I always say that JSON files are important. If not JSON files, you can tell them XML, because JavaScript files or scripting files and all everything we're not doing now, because that is not something that we are doing here. So this is how generally we need to create, especially for get functionality, I mean to say that. If you want to implement the post functionalities, even you can create the post functionalities. But if you want to have the post functionalities, make sure this must be integrated. So when there is any kind of integration that has been taken place, where you can see the test results. Here you can see these are the test results were there for get functionality. So once the information, once the JSON files we have created, you can go to the test results here and you can see the test results here. The first results about folder level status is checked. That is one result. At the same time, second result we have taken to identify the retina of objects that we have created. At the same time, whatever the API key that are taken for the responses, everything were passed. At the same time, whatever the retina of strings that we have taken for API key, even those are passed. So, whatever the passed results that we have, all these passed results can be seen based upon the information that we have to be updated for authorization purpose. Because this is for authorization purpose, the functionality that I have taken for testing, it is only for authorization purpose I have created. So once it is created,
Raj,
see,
sorry, Raj. Where did you write all these functionalities? I
these
mean,
functionalities again, we use functional testing, right? Manual testing. This part I already explained you. Manual testing we already do.
yes,
Functionality we
manual
are writing.
testing, yeah, means see if you run these get or post or anything, if you send any request,
Uh,
where did you write all the functionalities?
Function. These are all not functionalities. These are methods. Whatever the
Yeah,
see getter, post, or put, or patch, delete. All these are the methods.
methods, but these methods, if you invoke these methods, we need to write the functionalities, right?
We have.
Forget.
That's what, this is not functionality, this is a method we are writing. This is a method that we have created to connect to two different applications, not for the functional purpose. Okay,
Mhm.
functionalities you are writing as separate. Means if you want to write down the functionalities, there are multiple functional testing files generally we can create, and we can write down the functionalities there. That is different. Okay, for example, if you want to have any kind of regression testing when there are any changes, or any functional testing you want to perform, that functional testing is something different, that you will be doing it as separate. So here, whatever the testing that we are doing is to process the validations, wherein to create a new API generation key. Okay, so creating a new API generation key is a functionality which was already created. But generally, what is that something we need to do? You need to identify and you need to select what kind of methods are we using, because either it can be a get method, or it can be a post method, or it can be a patch method. These methods we have to be selected prior. Do you understand this? You are clear?
Mhm.
Understood or not?
Yeah.
Right. So these are all not functionalities. Functionalities you are writing already manual. In manual testing, generally there are different functionalities that we are writing. Anyway, functional testing will be done there itself. That you can do that. That is one area. Or else, if you want to write down the functionalities for the day, for the regular things, you need to identify the performances first. Then functional testing can be performed. So before you need to done with it, it's always important for us to, because this is for API testing we are doing, not for the functional testing part. So whatever the API integration that we have made, that has to be connected, and we have to see that. So for this reason, these functionalities, these API integration methods, we need to select. Do you understand this? You are clear, right? You understand or not?
Yes, I understand, but what I'm asking, like, see, these are the methods. We are using these method to test something, right?
Right.
Yeah. So for the testing code, where should we write?
Write the
I mean,
functionalities in Jira, right? So we are using Jira tool. Jira tool, there the functionalities you are writing. Already last time we have discussed. We have taken a sample project and I have shown you.
yeah,
Here
Zira
you
is
can write.
only for writing the test cases and right,
Even
only for writing for the code and suppose get generating a new API. See, for
hmm,
this
hmm.
get method, we are using get method to send something, right?
That functionalities we are connecting to GitHub, because there we update the code repository, right?
Mhm.
Because functionality is where the functional testing. If you want to do the functional testing, what you have to do? You need to have a code. Yes or no? Right? You need to have
Yes,
a.
yes.
So if you want to go have a code, what you have to do? You need to connect that with GitHub, because GitHub is a separate platform where whatever the code that you are writing, everything will be mentioned over there.
Okay.
And that has to be extracted for the functional test. Understand? You are clear? So
Yeah.
functionality. I think you are representing and you are asking in context to the code, right? If I am not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Functionality.
Yeah. Yeah. If
Hmm.
we are sending this method means
Might be the word
the
word
me
is word is different. You're
yeah.
asking, I think you are referring to the code, right? You are referring to the code. Functionality means you are referring the code. So when
Yes.
you are
Yes.
talking about the code, that code will be there in the GitHub. Because GitHub
Okay.
repository, if you remember in Jira, there are integrations I have shown you. Even you can integrate with DevOps. At the same time, you can integrate with GitHub also. In I think if I'm not wrong, after completion of the manual testing, by end of the course, if you remember, we have done that. Okay, GitHub creation repositories, the one we created. There you will be mentioning all the functionalities in a form of code will be written over there. Okay, for that those that will be written there itself. Here, whatever that you are doing, this is for API testing, API integration that you are doing. Do you understand this? Yep, yeah, now.
Mm.
So GitHub, that is. Let me just show you. Tell you 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah. That day you showed me what is GitHub and what is
GitHub
repository
repository.
before.
It's normally this GitHub repository where here you need to update the code. Okay, here you are updating the code. For example, you are giving.
So these codes are calling from the get method, right?
Absolutely right. So these, let's say that for example, you're taken. I'm just okay. For GitHub, you're taking. Okay. Yeah, you're mentioning about this associated with an account. Let's keep. Let me. Whatever the code that we are writing, right? So whatever the code that we have written here. So just give me. Yeah, mentioning the
Sure.
code here. Codes. Let me get the verification code that I have received. 1 minute. Just let me check here. Just give me a second. Yeah, I got it. Yes. Hmm. Right. So verification code 7976.
79376. 9376.
Yeah. So this is a code. Okay. This is a repository. Whatever the works that we do, everything that code stuff, everything that will be updated over here. Okay. So whatever the exam, whatever the code that we have initiated. So all that code will be updating irrespective of the language that we have mentioned. So here, for example, here you can see for configuration purpose or something, this is a code we will be updated. Okay, so all the code will be updated over here. So functionalities are presented here. Do you understand? You're clear, right? Functionalities we have updated here. Whatever the functionalities or functional code that we need to write. So all this code will be mentioned here. So once the code is functionalities are mentioned here, this is for the methods that whatever the methods that we have calling for API. So for that you have to create this code here. Understood now? Clear?
Yeah, but
Tell me.
సారీ, ఇక్కడ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ఏమన్నా చేస్తారా అండి గిట్ హబ్ తోటి? అంటే గిట్ హబ్ ని ఇక్కడ ఎట్లా కాల్ చేయాలి?
GitHub ని ఇక్కడ integrate చేయం మేడం. Functionalities we are writing functionalities as separate here. Okay, you are writing the code over here. But
ఓకే, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న కోడ్.
whatever the functionalities we have here, you can update. For example, here you can see, for example, this is one functionality creating an account. Okay, one functionality.
యా,
Whatever the account that we have created, you want to be updated. So for that, we have one more functionality. So these are the different functionalities. For example, you want to create a new transaction between the users. So these are the functionalities we have taken as an example. Understand? You clear?
యా.
Understood? You clear? These are the functionalities. Whatever the functionalities you can see for end-to-end self-testing, these are the functionalities. The first functionality I have shown you is about generating an API key. Is the first functionality. Second, if you want to create any kind of new code or something, new account or something, or if you want to create any kind of new transactions or any single transactions, everything can be seen here. So these are all different functionalities we have taken. So for that API integration, whatever we have made, whatever the method that we have identified, for these functionalities we need to do. Because for example, creating a new account, okay, creating a new account is something. For creating a new account wherein you want to patch some information, okay, you want to patch some additional information. Whenever you want to patch the new information here, if you want to do, you need to create an account, then you need to patch it. Or else, for example, you need to get some information from the new account which is already created. If you want, you can take the new account here and you can get the new information wherein whatever the required file for the new account updations to be made in a form of JSON, generally you can see either it can be a JSON file, because we have an option where these file formats can be easily converted in the Postman itself. You don't require to write as separate. Either it can be an XML file or JSON file. Any file, whichever you want, you can finalize the file itself and you can see the test results. If there is any test results that we have updated, so those test results can be seen here. Understood? You're clear, right? So what I have shown you is the first one, because the first function, consider this as a creating a new API is a functionality. Consider it as, for this functionality, whatever the post method that we have created. So for that, what are the test results that we have to see? Those test results, you can see it here. Depends on the file format that we have taken. You can see the results here. So for the particular functionality for API key I'm mentioning, like this, there can be any other functionalities we have. So for every functionality, how this can be, how this methods that what are the different methods that we have chosen. Once we have chosen these methods and all, whether the test results were successfully completed or not, everything that can be seen in the final test results over here. Understood? You're clear?
రాజ్.
Are you clear?
ఎస్ రాజ్.
Okay. What I do, I will do one thing. I will create some new functionalities as separate. Okay. As for I do one thing for the project for our Guidewire building, I will take some new functionalities for that, and I will show you in the flow itself so that you will be knowing better. Okay. I'll create the functionalities, and because these are the functionalities that were already taken. Okay. Let me write down the new functionalities as separate. Okay, you can create a new functionalities for this, because we have functional testing here wherein we can do, if you want here you can do the functional testing also, whatever the required functional testing, everything that we can do here. not only for end-to-end testing, even functional testing can also be done. But for that, what I do, I'll create some new functionalities for our this thing, whichever what we call mm, whatever the code that we have written. Okay, so whatever the integration that we have made, that I'll be taken on that I will show you. Okay, some functionalities relating to Guidewire really, so that it will be more related for. Understood, madam? You're clear?
Oh, okay.
Because these are the predefined ones I have taken. Guideware related ones, Guideware billing functionalities I'll write on my own. I will show
Okay.
you those so that it will be more related, so that even you can understand it more better in this regard. Clear?
Mhm, mhm.
So tomorrow I'll create the functionalities and I'll show you so that in the screen on the here itself, so that you will be knowing well. Okay, so for that you need to create a new files, or you can import the files. If you want, we can import the files from our external or internal source folders. From there, we can copy and we can upload the data, right? So, or else you can update from other sources, even from GitHub or something, wherein we can create. Means if you want to integrate, as you ask me, because where how this can be created, what we can do, we have an option. What we can do is we can create and we can add with GitHub also. Here you can see we have an option where you can import from the repository whatever the GitHub that we have created. From there you can impose it. You don't need to write down the functionalities as separate. I mean to say the code, whichever the code that we have, so that we can import. Or else we can write a new functionalities as separate. Any one we can do it. Either we are creating new, or we can import some new functionalities and all. So any one we can do. If you want to import it, either from which source are we importing is important. Either you are importing from Bitbucket, or you are importing from Azure Cloud, or you are importing from GitHub. Depends on the cloud repository that we have taken. We need to import it. So for that, what gateway API gateway we are using? Normally Azure API, for example, Azure API gateway we are using. If you want to create with Azure API, now you want to connect with Azure API by leaving the Postman. What we can do, you can connect to Azure API management, so that we can do this integration in the cloud environment itself. That provision is also there, because all the projects now and then are moving towards cloud. Guideware billing assume that we have taken a decision that we want to implement the cloud, Google Guideware billing in Azure environment, or we want to integrate, or we want to develop this in AWS environment. So what we can do, which cloud environment that we want to select, that we have to be selected here. So as far as API gateway is concerned, I'm talking about if it's a cloud application, which gateway we are taking. If you want to access the functionalities and all, which code repository are you referring to? Either it can be GitHub repository, or it can be a Bitbucket or something that will be taken, and those functionalities we have to be extracted from it. Understand? You're clear?
Mhm.
So I create the functionalities, and either we'll write a new, or else we can import if time permits. Okay, otherwise we can import the functionalities and we can write it accordingly.
Okay.
Understood, madam? Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
tomorrow
Ramesh.
we'll connect on the same time, because as scheduled time is at the same time as in the beginning we discussed. Let us connect with it. Okay. By the
Okay,
time
like
I finish, I'll
10:30 IST, right?
absolutely, yes, yes, yes. The same time.
Sure.
No changes in times further. Okay.
Okay.
Any
Okay,
day, the
sure.
same time.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Thank you, madam. Bye.